Hello, everybody. I'm Frodo.
Hello, everybody. I'm Legolas. And this is Sibling Rivalry.
Shouldn't you be Sam?
Home is now behind you. The world is ahead.
Actually, we're planning on not doing this again until after the new year, because we're gonna, build a little set and have all sorts of bells and whistles.
Giant robots with lasers. They're not needed, but it'll look cool.
That's his budget. But anyway, so unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you like the movie, The Hobbit came out. So we kind of have to talk about that. And
we can.
I'm just going to say this is an impromptu episode, so this is not like a big episode of Sibling Rivalry with all the bells and whistles. We're kind of just doing this for fun, and this is vlog style, but we just felt we had to talk about it because it is the movie of the year, unless you believe all that hype about Les Mis, but
That'll probably be the next review, because we're probably going to disagree about that.
Yeah, I don't like Les Mis.
I like Les Mis.
So we're probably going to do one for that as well. But the next couple episodes, while we're getting stuff set for a relaunch, is just going to be fun and impromptu. So, yeah, we saw The Hobbit, and I don't know. Doug, what did you think?
Okay, well, so in my opinion, I know I'm going to be a minority on this, but I don't give a fuck. Personally, this is my favorite of the Lord of the Rings movies, which I know sounds insane. But
are you serious?
Yes, okay, no, but here's why.
No.
Okay.
No.
I mean, first of all, we should talk a little bit about what it is. It's a much smaller story than the other Lord of the Rings. I mean, you're not going to see big epic battles.
Yet somehow much longer.
Castles. That is a little odd. Just a touch. To be fair, having only read one of the Tolkien books, I only read Fellowship, but I know there are stories. For me, this is the Lord of the Rings movie I always wanted to see. Okay, first let's talk about the fact that the camera actually stays the fuck still. And I know it sounds like just a very minor thing.
Periods of time.
No, but here's the thing. This is the thing. People are going to be like, oh, why isn't it zooming around? And why is it either looking really pretty or really threatening? And why are there shots of Gandalf saying, keep it secret, keep it safe? Or Bilbo going, I should have done this a long time ago. Or Elijah Wood going, Strider. Those really obnoxious close-ups that can't just let a scene play. This movie, finally, in my opinion, lets characters breathe, and it actually lets a scene just play out. And to me, it feels like the first time you could actually breathe in this world. This world felt believable.
Okay, I give you that. You felt like you could breathe in this world, and you weren't being breathed on. But
that's a very good way of putting it, Alec.
A close-up or not, or keeping the camera still does not, characters make. That has nothing to... I'm glad they slowed the camera down. That's fine. They slowed every scene down, too, though. But to a snail's pace.
But I like that in this movie because, again, it gave... Unlike the other movies, and I do like the other movies. Let me get that right. I do like them, but it always felt like, okay, well, now we have to go over here and do this. Well, now we have to go over here and do this. And I understand that. It's supposed to be an action film. It's supposed to be, the castles and the armies and stuff like that.
It's called things happening.
No, but it's supposed to start off simple. And I never felt it did start off simple. That's what I like about this one. It did have the grand backstory, which was cool. That backstory was
started
awesome.
off simple?
No, the backstory
If I didn't read The Hobbit, I would have been thoroughly confused. I was like...
I haven't read The Hobbit. I followed it fine.
Here's 12 dwarves. This is Thorin, son of Fundin, son of Mickey, friend of Balin, son of, and his grandfather was killed by Azog, but that was before Smaug came and attacked Erebor. I was sitting there, I was like, I've read The Hobbit a number of times, and I'm like, I would be lost.
I've never read I followed it fine. The only thing I couldn't understand is what the hell does the dragon want with gold? That's the only thing I don't understand.
It's a freaking dragon.
Just dragons want gold. They need their bling. But
really, if you're looking for any more explanation, the book's not going to provide it either. That was pretty much I think that's part of the problem with that's part of the problem with the movie. It's a children's story. It's meant for kids. You know what? You set yourself up right there because you said, this is the Lord of the Rings movie I wanted. This isn't Lord of the Rings. It's not. It was never meant to be like this. He didn't write it like this. It was not meant to be this big, giant, epic. It is a kid's tale, a yarn where a wizard and 12 dwarves and a little tiny man go save some gold from a dragon. And there are goblins and elves and big, giant bear people and trolls with Cockney accents.
But you know that they would not be able to get away with that if they want to tell the story like how Tolkien originally told it, which was very simple.
Then don't make it!
For someone who did not read the book, I know the basic premise, but I did not read the book. Not only could I follow it very well, but I was actually intrigued, say, like, with the dwarves and the elves, with why that prejudice was there. This movie shows why that prejudice was there. I found that really fascinating, how the elves did not come and help them in the beginning.
That's fine. There's some things that Jackson does right, and I'm going to be thumping on Jackson, and this is going to turn into probably a long hour-size rant, but...
We will go Noah and Twilight on your asses.
Yeah, this is going to be like a Noah vlog. There are things that Jackson did right in this film, and there are things that he does perfectly in this film. But it's a matter of tone. There is no consistent tone in this film.
I thought there was.
Who is this film made for?
It's made for fans of the Lord of the Rings movies. I would actually argue it's probably not made for fans of the original book, from what I understand about it.
But if you're making something for fans of the Lord of the Rings movie, you have a giant Phantom Menace-style Goblin King with the giant jowls. I kept wanting
the ball-sack chin, right?
Yeah, the ball-sack chin sitting there. You know, I kept wanting him to go, "We said don't like dwarves."
Hey, that guy was awesome. Come on, I like that guy.
No.
Okay.
I mean, here's the thing. If you were making a kid's film, yes. If you're making a kid's film, 1 second we have trolls with Cockney accents go, what are we going to do? Are we going to eat them or not? We have, you know, the freaking goblin going, ooh, da, dee, dee, we're going to sing a song. And then 10 seconds later, there are these hideously looking orcs chopping heads off. Like, there is no tone in this whatsoever. It's not for kids.
People know they're going to see that when they see Lord of the Rings. Any Lord of the Rings now. I mean, like I said, I didn't expect.
Then why did I have? Okay, fine. So, and this is my problem. If I wanted to see a Lord of the Rings movie, that's fine. You can make it like a Lord of the Rings movie. I have no problem with that. Then make it like a Lord of the Rings movie. I don't want to sit there and watch some troll blow snot all over Bilbo, or frickin' bad dwarf humor, or a bunch of dwarves belching into a jar, or whatever. Those things are for kids.
You saw that in the other films, though. Tell me all the times Gimli didn't belch or fart and stuff like that. Legolas riding the skateboard shield down and stuff like that. Nobody tosses a dwarf. That is all crap for kids.
Incredibly, stupidly awesome when it came to Legolas.
Oh, come on!
No,
that's stupid!
No, actually, I completely agree with you. Those were the things I hated about the Lord of the Rings movie.
There you go, it's the Lord of the Rings movie.
No, but this is way worse. Because now you've got... Okay, who is the weakest character in the Lord of the Rings films?
Probably Gimli.
Gimli? Who do we have in this movie?
Like 12 Gimlis.
12 Gimlis.
Except for the one...
Except for Thorin. And Balin's not too bad.
In fact, I take it back a little bit, and actually this is the one thing I will also say is a weakness, where in this film I really thought, you know, we got to know a lot of these... like I said, these people seem a little bit more believable and credible, except for the majority of the dwarves. Except for the majority of the dwarves, who just all sort of blend into one Gimli, with the exception of a couple.
Which is a problem with the book, because the book you had about 4 or 5 dwarves that had pretty clear personalities, and the rest have silly names.
I would have liked if they gave them a little bit more personality, or just cut half the dwarves out.
You know, the rest just kind of blended. I mean, even in the funniest thing is, somebody was telling me, they're like, well, and they did that cheap shot where just all of the dwarves just tumble in at once, and they're just like, and the rest? I'm like, the book did that. Like, the book pretty much had that happen, where it's like, and then there were these other dwarves. So, but that's my problem. It's just like, if you're going to do this, then you have to change the book in such a way that it makes the film better. And it didn't. It actually made it worse. Things he should have changed, he didn't, and things that weren't necessary he threw in. I don't need to see Saruman and Galadriel having this big, like, debate at a round table. The movie just ground to a halt. It's not like Fellowship, where at least it's like, we're going to decide the fate of mankind. No, it's, this weird guy says there's like this necromancer somewhere, and well, obviously, yes, but if this will the senator yield? Like, it's ridiculous.
First of all, we did have that Fellowship of the Ring, and it was exactly what you just said, where everyone's talking to let's get rid of this thing.
Except it meant something.
It could have taken 2 seconds, and that scene did have a purpose.
Oh,
by
and
the way.
guess
Now,
what?
serving as a distraction for the dwarves to leave.
Here's the major difference. That scene in Rivendell in Fellowship of the Ring set up 2 more movies. What did this scene do in this film?
It allowed the dwarves to escape. And
brilliant.
I think you could also establish. Here's what I liked about that scene too: is that it finally allowed us, and this always bothered me, at least in the movies. The book, I think they explain a little bit more, but Saruman, from the minute you see this fucker and his giant evil castle that Bowser would live in, you say, that's a bad guy. I like for once you actually see him having a conversation, like having them meet up, and you can see, how these people were friends and how they talked and stuff like that.
That would be great in the extended edition DVD.
Just imagine, this is the extended edition that every kid wants to see.
No, and this is where Jackson got it right. He's like, I'm making a movie here. I am not making something that is entirely for Tolkien purists. I'm sorry. I love Tolkien. I have read the Silmarillion thrice. I use words like thrice. So know that this is where I'm coming from. Any of you guys on the message boards, it's like, you just don't understand.
No, he's diehard.
No, I do.
Diehard.
I have the history of Middle Earth, like Christopher Tolkien's books, talking about how the books were written. It's about how the books were written. I own them. I've read them twice. So don't give me that. I am telling you straight up, there was too much Tolkien in this movie. There are too many side quests, side stories. It's like I'm playing a game of Skyrim in the movie theater. It's like you're going one way and then you ran...
people like Skyrim and they like those worlds.
They like Skyrim because they can choose what quest they want to go on. If a quest looks boring, I can be like, delete, I will ignore this quest and go on my own and do something else. When you try to make a narrative that goes from point A to point B, you just can't get sidetracked like that, or you have to construct your narrative in a better way. I know you're just like, I'm so glad that they spent time in Hobbiton. They needed to get the hell on the road, for
You're telling me
God's sake.
that the Lord of the Rings movies actually went from A to B. The trilogy went from A to B, with no diversions, no sidetracking at all.
I'm saying the original director's cut did it better than the extended edition, and I'm okay with that because the extended edition is for the purists, for the fans, or for people who are just like, you know what, I want more. Sitting in the movie theater and watching the extended edition later, I'm like, I know why most of these scenes were cut. Some I would have preferred there, but the bulk of them, I'm like, you know what, no, this was not absolutely necessary to telling your base story.
Okay,
it just wasn't.
You say this, you ask, why is this movie made? They shouldn't have made this movie. And you're saying, well, then this movie is only for purists of Tolkien. Why can't it just be for purists of Tolkien, then?
Fine.
I am not a purist, by the way.
That does not make it a good movie, though. That makes it a great fanfic, a great fan interpretation. It would make a great miniseries. Like, I was looking at this, I was like, obviously what Peter Jackson just wanted to do was make an HBO-style miniseries. You could divide this up into 9 to 12 episodes, and it would work, because you have the ability after an hour to pause and say, hey, or wait till next week.